Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Revenge. Oh, it's so sweet. It's so sweet when you wake up the day after a 41-20 win over South Carolina. A lot of us, every single one of you inside of Neyland Stadium last night, 100,000+ people were thinking about revenge. We were thinking about last year. We were thinking about what this football team lost to South Carolina a year ago. Revenge was on our minds, and this football team, they went out and they took it. They took it back from South Carolina. They were more physical. They owned the line of scrimmage. So many good things that we saw from this football team last night. And I know we're talking about last year and revenge, but you also got to look at 2023 and what this win means for this football team as you look at the schedule moving ahead. You've got Texas A&M coming up after the bye week. You've got to go on the road and play Alabama, on the road to play Kentucky. Georgia's coming to Neyland Stadium. You got a lot of tough football left to play, and we're sitting in a pretty good spot getting the win last night, sitting at 4-1. I like the way that Josh Heupel game plans coming off of a bye week, so we'll see what he does against Texas A&M. Also going to be interesting to see what that line is going into the Texas A&M game next week. Right now, the ESPN FPI has Tennessee favored at 56.1%. Look, we got to recreate that environment last night. I don't care if the Texas A&M game's a 3:30 kickoff or if it's a night game, whatever the case may be. Neyland Stadium was the 12th man last night. Got to do it again here in a couple of weeks when you play Texas A&M. That's going to be a huge game. You know, it's kind of coach speak and cliche, but the next game's the most important game. That Texas A&M game's pretty dang big. You find a way to come out of the front half of the season at 5-1. You're going to be favored in every game from here on out outside of Georgia and Alabama. So if you want to go get 9 wins, or if you want to find a way to shock the world, go beat Georgia, go beat Alabama, and win 10 games, 11 games. It starts with Texas A&M. But how about that win last night? Again, Tennessee 41, South Carolina 20. This is the day after. We've had time to sleep on it. Very little time to sleep on it, but we did sleep on it. We're going to put some thoughts together. We're going to talk about it, but as always, do me a favor. Smash the thumbs up just below the video. It's quick, free, and easy. It does help this channel, and I would greatly appreciate it. Also, if you're new to the Talkin VAWLS Network, welcome. We're not experts. We're not insiders. We're not media. We don't talk at you here. We talk with you. This is a community for the fans, by the fans. If you enjoy the content, make sure you subscribe. Click that bell for notifications. You're not going to miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. We'll be live tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time. That's the fan call-in show. That's where you guys, the members of the channel, have an opportunity to come on here, drive this show. That's what builds the community. Live tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure you guys come hang out. Let's talk about this Tennessee and South Carolina game. Look, I don't blame South Carolina right out of the gate. They win the toss. They elect to receive. They're trying to come out and quieten down this Neyland Stadium crowd. A hostile environment. We all have revenge on our minds. This defense comes out, they get a stop. They force a punt right out of the gate. They respond by going 9 plays for 94 yards, scoring a touchdown, taking the lead early. And then there was multiple times throughout the course of this game where Tennessee had to respond to adversity, right? Joe Milton's interception early in the game. Tennessee is leading 7-3. Joe Milton sees cover 2. It's actually cover 3. He puts the football in the middle of the field, which is a huge mistake against cover 3. Gives South Carolina a short field. I think they were around the Tennessee 30-yard line at that point. They go down and score. Tennessee trails. Also, later in the game, the injury to Brew McCoy, right? Tennessee kind of struggled after seeing Brew go down. Joe Milton particularly struggled. You could see the look on his face as his brother's getting carted off the field. Joe was uncomfortable. He went through a little rough patch there, but he responded. He balanced. He came back. He finished off this football game. I talk all the time, right? We're talking about South Carolina electing to receive. I talk all the time on this channel about the middle 8 because I think it's a way you can cheat and get a little extra possession in a football game and kind of change some momentum. So again, South Carolina wins the toss. They punt to start the game. Less than a minute to go in the half. Tennessee's up 7. South Carolina facing a 3rd and long. And how about James Pierce? How about the night that he had a couple of sacks, but not only sacks, he was living in the backfield. He was in Spencer Rattler's face all night long. Tennessee dominated both the offensive line and the defensive line, but he comes off the edge, brings the pressure, forces a high throw from Spencer Rattler. Kamal Hadden, right place, right time, pick 6. Tennessee leads 24-10 going into the half, and then you start off the second half with a picture-perfect drive. We talk about putting 4 quarters together. Tennessee didn't necessarily do that, but they didn't have that ugly quarter where you give up 17, 21, 28 points. They did have some spurts at times, but again, they come out 12 plays, 75 yards, a 4 minute drive. They get the touchdown. They go up 31-20. Tennessee won the middle 8. Now, something that was missing for me last night, I felt that like there was numerous times throughout the course of the ball game that Tennessee could put their foot on the throat of the Gamecocks and end it, but they never did get that knockout punch. Obviously, they end up winning by 3 touchdowns. You're happy with that. Came a little late in the game, but I felt there was numerous times throughout the course of the ball game where Tennessee had an opportunity to put this thing away and just couldn't get it done. But look at the team stats here. I've got them pulled up on the screen. Tennessee balanced as usual. Throw the football for 239. Run the football for 238. Cleaned up a little bit of penalties, 7 for 58. Still got to continue to clean that up. That's not, to me, you got to clean up some of the holding calls, some of them unnecessary. You had the D. Williams house call with an unnecessary block in the back on the opposite side of the field. Clean that crap up. Clean that nonsense up. There's no excuse for that. But one of the most interesting stats of the night for me is right there at the bottom, time of possession. How many times have we ever seen time of possession with Josh Heupel as the head coach that evenly balanced? South Carolina 30 minutes and 15 seconds. Tennessee 29 minutes and 45 seconds. And that's some of it. When I'm saying go for the knockout blow, it feels like they took their foot off the gas, tried to eat the clock, tried to chew up the clock and get out of Neyland Stadium with a win. And that's when you got to look at this football team. And we talked about this last night on the fan call, or excuse me, last night on the post-game show, is this team has a different identity. This team is not 2022's team. And if this team can find a way to lean on their defense, let them play physical, violent football up front, continue to get after the quarterback. Again, we talked about James Pierce and how he was able to get home for 2 sacks. Tennessee had 6 sacks, 8 tackles for loss on the night. The defensive line won the day. The defense won the day as a whole. But if you can lean on your defense and then just do enough, be physical, run the football. Again, 238 yards on the ground. It's a different identity, boys, but you find a way to go win a football game by 3 touchdowns. You got to be happy with that as we move forward through the rest of the season. Again, running the football. Tennessee really kind of not struggled, maybe didn't run the football as much as I thought they would or should in the first half. They had 83 rushing yards in that first half. They come out the first drive of the second half with a healthy dose of run, 64 yards. 64 yards in that first drive to start the second half, and then they end the day with 238 yards on the ground. That's a good day running the football in the SEC. That's how you win football games. Another key stat worth taking a look at is right there at the top. South Carolina on third downs, 2 out of 15. And a lot of that was Tennessee's ability to pressure the quarterback. But then also, I think Wesley Walker played good football. I thought he cleaned a lot of stuff up, led the teams in tackles last night, had 5 tackles, also had a pass breakup. I thought he played good football, not perfect, but I love the quote from Josh Heupel. I say it all the time. Ain't got to be perfect, ain't going to be perfect. Just go out and play for 60 minutes. 60 minutes. Carry the fight for 60 minutes and keep it there. South Carolina got the fight brought to them for 60 minutes. Joe Milton. What about Joe? Does Joe have to go out and be Hendon Hooker? That's the comparison that we continue to get and are going to continue to say because we were blessed with great quarterback play a year ago. Right? This fan base, this Tennessee fan base has lived through some terrible quarterback play for a long time, and we got Hendon Hooker last year. We went from absolute awful quarterback play to holy smokes, this guy deserves to be in New York with a Heisman Trophy presentation, to now Joe Milton is trying to step into those shoes. Last night he was 21 of 32, 239 yards, a touchdown. The 2 interceptions, right? The 2 interceptions are what stand out. You go look at his QBR, 45.3. He is very, very lowly rated in the SEC when it comes to QBR. But just go out and be efficient. You can't turn the football over. Turning the football over like that is going to cost you some games, but Tennessee's defense found a way to respond. These running backs, man, 3-headed monster, continue to be a 3-headed monster. Jalen Wright, 123 on the ground, average 7.7 yards per carry. Jabari Small, 59 yards, average 5.4 yards per carry. Dylan Sampson, 49 yards, also averaged 5.4 yards per carry. All 3 guys had a touchdown. If you were a part of the tailgate show yesterday going into the game, one of our listeners that pops in every week on the fan call-in show said he was doing some homework and he saw that South Carolina struggles against the slot. He called it. He predicted it, that Squirrel White was going to have himself a day, and that's exactly what he did. 9 catches, 104 yards, did not get into the end zone. Dylan Sampson had a couple of nice catches, 2 catches for 42 yards. But the story of the day, boys, the story of the day was this Tennessee defense showing up, balling out, getting after the quarterback. It wasn't perfect. They made mistakes, but they found a way to get it done. You got to be happy with a 41-20 win coming out of last night. And again, you look ahead, what's coming up next, what's on the schedule. If you had started this thing 0-2 in conference play, it was going to be a long season. It's going to be a long season for Tennessee. But now that Texas A&M game becomes extremely important. Go find a way to get a W. Look, the East is in Tennessee's hands. And you can laugh, you can joke and say there's no way this team is going to win the East. They can go do whatever they want to do. They want to go win the East, you're going to have an opportunity, because there's no way that Florida is going to run the table and come out of conference play at the top of the SEC East. Tennessee's fate is in their own hands. You go beat Texas A&M. Say it all the time, right? Coach speak. Go 1-0 every week. You go beat Texas A&M. You go shock the world and beat Alabama again in back-to-back seasons. You go show Kentucky that we're their daddy. You beat Missouri on the road. You bring Georgia to Neyland Stadium, and you've only got 1 loss on the year, and the East is on the line. You thought last night was electric. That game will be electric. Look, just a short little video on the day after. What are your guys' thoughts? Put them in the comment section below. What about the win last night against South Carolina? Give that game ball to the defense, in my opinion. But I always want to hear your thoughts. As always, do me a favor, smash the thumbs up on the way out the door. You can go check out the merchandise at bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. Appreciate the way you guys support this channel. You are ride or die. We are a big orange cult. We are family, and I'm grateful for all of you guys that support this channel. You can hit the link in the description below. You can pick up the merchandise there. And as I say every video, I'm grateful for the members, man. You guys are what give me the opportunity to do that. You want to do this. You want to be a part of that. Hit the join button down below for just $1 a month. You get custom Talkin VAWLS emojis, access to fan call-in shows, all kinds of fun perks and benefits. But more importantly, you're just supporting what I'm trying to do here. And I'm grateful, man. I love this community. I'm passionate. I'm emotional about this community because I love you guys and what we are building here. I'm going to continue to try to block out the outside noise. Had a rough week with outside noise. That's not what this channel is all about. This channel is about you guys and building this community, and that's where the focus is at moving forward. So I thank you guys. That's going to do it for this one. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.